Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Jannette Flores and I'm business owner for audience buying at Google for the markets Germany, Austria and Switzerland. So welcome to today's presentation on the power of audience. Neil has just talked about the importance of mobile, right? And now it's all about the user. So who is the user? In my everyday work, I talk to a lot of advertisers and agencies about audience buying and about collecting data. And I'm super excited that in the last couple of days, weeks, months, there has been a really great development in this area. But what I also see too often is that advertisers try to deep dive into a retargeting strategy straight away, and that retargeting strategy is super granular, and advertisers do that before they have even understood their goals. But the important thing is that you understand the customer as a whole, and that you integrate this knowledge into a holistic strategy. And in the end of the day, it's about the customer lifetime value. So let's have a look at our today's agenda. We will start with your goals as an advertiser. Then we will get a deep dive into the data that you can get. But what is all the data worth without getting great insights from that data, right? And then we will have a look at segmentation. And then it gets interesting. We're getting to the action part. And I won't let you go without next steps, of course. So let's have a look at your goals as an advertiser. As an advertiser, you should ask yourself, what are my goals and how can I use the data in order to get to those goals? So you need to understand your business model and define your goals precisely. As an advertiser, you can also challenge yourself, ask yourself, why am I using audience buying? How can I use audience buying to get to my goals? Is everybody in this room really, is it about low CPCs in your everyday work? Isn't it more about revenues, about market share? Isn't it about maximizing your ROI? And in order to maximize your ROI, you need to understand the customer and need the full value of the customer and the long-term value of that customer. So let's get to the data. Now that you have defined your goals, what data do you have as an advertiser? Do you have CRM data, which is really cool, but way too little advertisers do this, to have the CRM data and use the CRM data? Or do you have website behavior data? We have a lot of really, really cool tools for data collection, such as Google Analytics. With Google Analytics, for instance, we wanted to provide advertisers, as you, a tool that is free, and a tool which you can use for data collection. And this tool is free, and I'm sure in the end of the day, it pays off for all parties. So there are a lot of possibilities to get signals, right? What are signals for? We need signals to identify who the user is, when the user was looking for your products, where the user was looking for your products. And in order to collect those signals, we have a lot of tools as Google Analytics, for instance. So what signals can we collect? There are a lot of valuable signals such as visit duration. How long has the user been to the website? Not a lot of advertisers use this information yet. You could track users who have been to the website more than 7 minutes, less than 10 seconds to identify bouncers, for instance. Or you can also identify users who have been to your website really recently. You can imagine that a user who has been to your website a day ago, or even 2 hours ago, or 30 minutes ago, that's also possible, is worth way more than a user who has been to your website 30 days ago. Maybe he even forgot about the product already, right? So recency is a really important signal. What source did the user come from? Did he come from YouTube, from organic search, from a specific website? And the frequency of visits, that's also a very important signal. So we have found out that users are actually browse on 2 to 3 product sites before even purchasing. So use that possibility to get all those signals. And one way to get those signals is putting a retargeting tag on your website. I'm sure you are all familiar with the new remarketing tag. With that tag, you can collect the signals and create really sophisticated lists in the interface. You can either place the remarketing tag directly on your website, or you can use the Google Tag Manager. Who in this room is familiar with the Google Tag Manager? Great. So, and who is using this container tag? Okay, that's like 1/3. Perfect. The great thing about Google Tag Manager is that it's a free container tag, and you can not only implement the remarketing pixel, you can also implement the Google Analytics tag, the conversion pixel, and third-party pixels. So Google Tag Manager is a really, really powerful container tag. And with a pixel on your website, you can also do dynamic creatives. We will get to this point later on. So tag implementation should be easy nowadays. So if you have that data and you have some information that you don't have in your URL, you can also use custom parameters. Who is using custom parameters here? Okay, wow, that's like 1/10 of the room. Custom parameters allows you to collect data and information that is not in your URL. For instance, some advertisers don't have the price in the URL or the amount. For instance, a user has bought 2 shoes, and the number 2 is not in the URL, so you can use custom parameters. So with custom parameters, you can see where the user has been in the funnel, how many products he has viewed, or what the price was. So one list that you could create is, for instance, all users who have been to the cart page and had a cart page value with more than 500 euros. So now, what is all the data worth if you can't generate great insights from that data? And what do I mean by great insights? A great insight would, for instance, be identify users who are bouncing, for instance, and then bid lower on those. But it's also about identifying users with a very high assisted conversion rate and then bid up on those users. What is also really important, and that's what I see too often in my client meetings, is that the data is there. You do have the data, but it's stuck in the IT department. So the webmasters have the data, but it never gets to the marketing department. But it's important to do marketing decisions based on data and information, and not based on gut feeling. And most of the time, this is still the case. So how can we derive those insights? You can create lists in the AdWords interface, but you can also use the Google Analytics interface. And as you can see in this example, we can create the lists based on traffic source. In this example, we collect users who have come from YouTube. As soon as you create a list in Google Analytics, you will see those lists popping up within seconds in AdWords. Has anybody ever created a list in Google Analytics? Okay, 1/10. Good to see. In Google Analytics, in order to do remarketing here, you need to have admin access, of course. You need to link your AdWords account with your Google Analytics account. You need to update your privacy policy, obviously, and just edit a small snippet in the Google Analytics code. And that's it. And the best thing about it is that you can use almost all Google Analytics metrics, such as visit duration. That's what I was talking about. How long was the user in the website? Far too little advertisers use this possibility. Oh. Okay, good, I memorized my slides. So now that you do have the insights, you need to do a good segmentation. So what do I mean by segmentation? I mean that I still see a lot of on-off segmentation. What does on-off mean? On-off means that a lot of advertisers just target a small segment. And with small segment, I mean only product detail viewers or only users who have been to the cart page. Who in this room is targeting all website visitors? Yeah, that's less than half of the people, and this is what we usually see. You're missing out so much on potential. Because, for instance, cut page abandoners, they make up less than 1/4 of all your website visitors, and more than half of our advertisers only target such a small segment. Later, I'm lost without slides, just for your information, but I'm still good. Okay, so the main point is target all your website visitors, because this is the beauty of real-time bidding. Real-time bidding allows you to find the right segments, to target all segments, and bid differently on those segments. So use that possibility. Okay, one way to do smart segmentation for retailers especially is how deep was the user in the funnel. Here you should create lists based on user was in the home page, in the product detail page, cart page, payment page, confirmation page. What I also always say is we have so many possibilities, and for instance, GA offers us so many metrics, but please start simple and basic, and later on you can segment further. Why are you segmenting? Always ask yourself, why should I create another list now? And the answer is, create a different list if you A, put a different bid on that list, or B, if you show a different creative to that list. Let's see, for instance, the payment viewers. Users who have been to the payment site, but then left the website. To those users, of course, you can show an ad giving them 30% off. Or you can show them an ad with free shipping. Did you know that the most common reason why users leave the website is the shipping cost? They are shocked. Wow, now 7 euros shipping? Okay, I'm gone. And to users who have bought a product, you of course show another ad. You can do cross-selling here, upselling. You can ask them to refer a friend. So really start simple and start with this smart segmentation. And now that we have a great segmentation, we can get to the exciting part, the action part. What is a good segmentation if you just have bad creatives? That's what we also see too often. In display, we do have dynamic ads. Who in this room has a merchant center? I mean, you're all retailers, right? Yeah, that's good. And who is doing dynamic ads already? Okay, why is not everybody who has a merchant center doing dynamic ads? I mean, in this room, I think we don't need to discuss why dynamic ads are performing so much better than static ads, right? It's just in our tests, we did see that dynamic ads have a 300 times higher CTR. So there is actually no reason not to do dynamic ads. And we started with the acquisition of Terrascent, and then we integrated this great technology into our AdWords interface. And nowadays, if you do dynamic ads, our system even creates those basic lists for you. Lists are created such as user who has been to the product detail page, user who has been to the cart page, and a user who has purchased. Those lists are automatically created for you, and you can just tick the box and create your dynamic ads. So it's super simple. So today we offer more than 50 templates, and our system actually shows random templates, and in the end of the day, it identifies the best performing templates. So another point for dynamic ads is the recommendation engine. I mean, it's super basic and no rocket science to show a user the product that he has viewed before, right? But what is really cool is to show him a similar product or a recommended product. So definitely use the recommendation engine since it's working very, very well. How does dynamic ads work? It's super simple. You place the tag on your website, and I recommend to place it on all product pages, on your cart page, on the purchase page. And then as the user visits your website, we get two information. The first one is the cookie ID in order to identify the browser later on. And secondly, we get the custom parameters. In this case, for retail, it can be page type. So how deep was the user in the funnel? Was he only in the product detail page? Or was he even in the cart page? Or has he purchased? And the other custom parameter that we definitely need is the product ID. So what product has the user viewed? On top of that, you can add custom parameters such as product value, what was the price, or how many products has he viewed. And there's actually, does anybody know what's the limit for custom parameters? How many can you use? Tricky?
5 of them.
5? Yeah, close, very close. Any other guess? 6? It's unlimited. So the most I've seen was in the travel vertical because they have destination, origin, departure date, arrival date, all that stuff. So the limit is actually your imagination. And you can imagine in Google Analytics we have so many metrics and you can use like so many custom parameters. So use this. Okay, so as the user has visited your site, you as an advertiser can create your lists, either in the AdWords interface or with Google Analytics, since Google Analytics is now compatible with dynamic ads as well. That was a big request from you guys, and now it's possible. And after you've created the list, the user is collected in that list, and what is important is that data, it's aggregated and anonymous, so we don't collect personal identifiable information. And as the user browses in the Google Display Network, he sees the tailored ad. Pretty simple. A nice example is Conrad. Conrad is a German retailer selling electronics, and they tested dynamic ads, and what they saw is that their conversion rate increased by more than 500%, and they even dropped their CPA by 77%. What they did is retarget users who have been to the product detail page and to the cart page and who did not convert. So we just talked about display. What do we have in search? In search, we have remarketing lists for search ads. Who in this room is doing remarketing lists for search ads? Good. Wow. Nice. That's good to see. And who in this room is targeting all website visitors for remarketing lists for search ads? Okay. Who is applying remarketing lists for search ads to all their campaigns? Yeah, and this is a little bit sad to see because later on I'll show you our 5-step framework. But let's get back to the beginning. So let's have a look at our signals. Let's have a look at those search queries, Lease, BMW, convertible. Similar search queries seem the same, but they are not, because behind each search query there is a different user looking from a different location, at a different time, from a different device, right? And on top of that, we do have the audience signal. And this powerful signal shows us, for instance, that this girl in the middle, Charlotte, she has been to your website before. And knowing that she has been to the website before shows us that this user has a 2 to 3 times higher probability to convert. So use that information. I know in search you cannot always be on top position, right? But for a user, for users where you know that they have a 2 to 3 times higher probability to convert, for those users you want to be on top position. Because if it's not you on top position, then it's your competitor, and he will get this easy conversion. So we have tried to collect all those insights and integrate it into a 5-step model. So the first 2 pillars are actually the most important pillars. It's about coverage. And this is why I was asking who is targeting all website visitors. It's super important for remarketing lists for search ads that you start with your biggest list so our system can learn. In the GDN, in display, you don't have the search intent. That's why we need to create segments in order to know how close the user was to purchasing. In search, we do have the search query, which is a great intent, so we know the user is now looking for your product. So target all your website visitors in order not to lose coverage. And as soon as you are targeting all your website users, you need to apply your remarketing lists to all of your campaigns. Then The third step is the most tricky one, because this is about finding the right bid. Who in this room is bidding higher than 100%, plus 100%? That's way too few people. So there's a little rule. You should ask yourself, is my target CPA still higher than my actual CPA? And if yes, is my position still worse than 1? As we all know, users who have been to the website have a better CPA than new users. So there is no reason not to be on position number 1 for that. So try to find your right bid modifier. And what we usually recommend is a bid modifier of plus 100 to plus 200%. Because if you just bid a little bit higher, it won't change anything for your position. And then, if you are happy with your performance, you can even increase performance by creating segments. And only at this point you should create those segments. At this point, it does make sense to bid higher on users who have been deeper in the funnel, for instance, in the cart page, rather than on users who have been to the home page. But this is just a small optimization lever, and it doesn't have the impact that it has in display. And most of our advertisers, if they get to this fourth point, then at this point they can still grow their reach by adding keywords. And if you're interested in those retargeting strategies and even more, then feel free to visit tomorrow's workshop with my colleague Dipti. She will deep dive into this. So Tirreno, for instance, this is a German tire retailer. They are bidding way higher on those users who have been to the website before. And with this strategy, they managed to increase their sales by 22% and at the same time reducing their CPA by 43%. So now we have talked about users who have been to the website before, right? But what about getting new users to your website using the data that we retrieved for new customer acquisition? New customer acquisition is a really, really relevant topic, and we've put so much resources in the last couple of days and weeks and months into this. It was actually a big request from the markets. So with similar audiences, we can already do this, right? We can target users who are similar to the users who have been to the website. Those users have similar browsing behavior, for instance, or those users have similar demographic traits. How does it work? You select your remarketing list and then enable similar audiences. And the best part of it is that in your similar audiences list, we automatically exclude the users who have been to your website. So it's really incremental conversions. What I would recommend here is to create tight lists. For instance, instead of creating an all converters list, you should create a high heels converters list or a rubber shoe converters list. This works really well. And with similar audiences, we even saw an impression increase of 30%, 25% more clicks, and 12% more conversions. But okay, similar audiences, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this. But today, I wanted to introduce you to 2 new products that we just launched 1 week ago, actually. Who in this room is familiar with in-market audiences? Who does in-market audiences? Who uses it? That's like 5, 6, 7 people. Okay, great. So we launched the first segments for in-market audiences, and now we started with 6 languages: German, English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Japanese. And in the next couple of weeks, we are including more and more segments and more languages, of course. So with in-market audiences, you can target users who have never been to your website before, but who have a really high search intent. Those are the users who are now actively looking for your products. What signals do we consider here? Our system looks for signals such as frequency and content of the website that the user has visited. For instance, let's say I would like to buy a camera. How often have I been on camera review pages? Or how often have I been on price comparison sites for cameras? And what is really nice is that the system also excludes users For instance, if I'm surfing on websites about how to clean or how to repair a camera, then I will be automatically excluded. So really, really nice new product in market audiences. The benefits is that the cookies are actually updated in real time. We reach intenders, not interests, so we look at the frequency of visits, at the visit duration, and we do have scale. We have access to more than 2 million websites, and most important of all, and that's what our advertisers value, is of course the transparency and control. You do see what websites your ads were shown, and you can still bid manually. Toll Brothers, for instance, this is an American luxury home builder. They tried in-market audiences and combined it with their remarketing campaign. And what they did is they targeted in-market shoppers in the real estate and in the home-related segments. And what they saw is that the in-market audiences campaign had a really nice influence on the remarketing campaign. So the remarketing campaign had 50% lower CPAs and a 3 times higher conversion rate, 3 times higher click-through rate. So what is really important, in-market audiences has a great impact on your existing remarketing campaign. But there is another great product that I'd like to introduce you to. Who has heard of auto-targeting for remarketing? I'm sure none. Good. Otherwise, there would be a leak. So auto-targeting for remarketing actually launched on Thursday, and it's going to roll out to all advertisers by the end of the month. A lot of our advertisers asked us, no customer acquisition, that's really, really great. I need to increase the list size number of my remarketing lists, but is it possible to do this with the same CPA as retargeting? I mean, that sounds impossible, and now this is possible. How? Auto-targeting for remarketing just identifies the users on your website with a high probability to convert and looks for similar users who have never been to your website before. So just imagine, you can just filter out and identify the users with the highest conversion rate and look for similar users. So it's kind of a combination between similar audiences and the conversion optimizer, our bid management system. So really, really great product launches coming up in the next couple of days. The best thing about it, it's super powerful. We saw an increase of conversions of 50%. It's super precise, so it does not go over your target CPA, and it's really simple. It's just a tick box in the interface. Look at your AdWords account today. Maybe you can already see it. It's actually just a tick box, and it's a layer on top of your retargeting campaigns. So, as a next step, what should you do? Use the data that you get and generate the right insights. Target all website visitors and not only those users who have been to the cart page or to the product detail page. Don't miss out that opportunity and that potential. And in the end of the day, you should use the data to not only target users in the lower funnel, but also get the conversions up the funnel. Thank you.
Wait. We have time for one question. And I see my lovely colleague Marissa at the back with the Android microphone. Thank you very much for that brilliant presentation, very insightful. So, does anybody have a question about audiences at this moment? Yes, I see a hand going up, Marissa, right there. Can you, yeah. Thank you.
Hey.
Hi.
It'd be fantastic to see similar audiences and to be able to use with remarketing lists for search. Is that product coming soon, or?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So the question was, can we use the similar audiences list for remarketing lists for search ads. That's a very common request. As you know, we are launching so many products, and we are now trying to make them compatible, but we have different features on the roadmap and different priorities. So that is kind of a high priority, but I wouldn't expect it to launch this quarter. So mid Q3, end of Q3. Another question that always arises in this context, now we're launching in-market audiences. Can we use those lists for remarketing lists for search ads, right? So that's also a compatibility that we are working on, but I would wait for later this year. And because we get a lot of requests, for instance, to make Google Analytics, the Google Analytics tag lists compatible with remarketing lists for search ads, and that is more the high priority. And actually, we do have a beta for that now, so it's just a matter of time, actually. But really, really good request.
Okay, thank you very much, Jannette.